Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jill, otherwise known as the Enlightened Target, and this channel is devoted to narcissistic abuse awareness and recovery, parental alienation, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and anything and everything associated with those three main topics. Today's topic is going to be on malignant narcissism, which is the most dangerous form of narcissism, and unfortunately for me, the kind I have the most personal experience dealing with. As most everyone knows, narcissism is on a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum is what is called healthy narcissism, which basically just means a person with a healthy self-esteem, not an egomaniac, not a doormat. On the other end of the spectrum is what is called malignant narcissism. Sometimes it's also referred to as the dark triad because there are three distinctive parts that make up this personality. The first part is narcissistic personality disorder. They do have the personality disorder. This is not just someone high in narcissistic traits or high on the spectrum. So they'll have the typical narcissistic behaviors of grandiosity, perceived superiority, sense of entitlement. They're going to require constant and excessive admiration. These people behave and expect to be treated as if they are superior. Second part is psychopathy, otherwise known as antisocial personality disorder, which means they do not have a conscience. They do not have the capacity to feel empathy, guilt, or remorse. However, they can certainly act and behave as if they do. They are proficient actors, but that's all it is an act, but it makes it incredibly difficult to detect them most times. Third part is Machiavellianism, and I hope I'm saying that right. This is the part of the personality that is exploitative and manipulative. They will use and deceive anyone and anything to get what they want. Nothing, and I do mean nothing, is sacred or off limits. They will exploit their own children, loved ones, religion, whatever. As long as it serves their needs and desires, they'll exploit and deceive anyone and anything. This is also the part of the personality that has a sadistic element to it, meaning they gain pleasure from seeing other people suffer. They probably enjoy it even more if they're the cause of that suffering. So the person that coined the term, which is really interesting, is a man named Erich Fromm, and he was a German Jew who escaped the Nazi regime. I believe he came to America in 1964, but don't quote me on that. But he coined the term. That's the term he used to describe the conduct and the behaviors of the Nazi government that he witnessed. So that's pretty telling right there in and of itself. Nazis equal malignant narcissism. Another excellent source on this topic, if you're interested in getting more in depth, is a book titled People of the Lie by M. Scott Peck. He was a psychotherapist, kind of a philosopher, author. He goes into detail and gives some really amazing examples of how these people think, how they operate, different behaviors, and he defines human evil as malignant narcissism. So he really goes into depth about how disturbed these people are and how their mind works. And in fact, I think there's an audio book on YouTube. So if you're not a big reader, you can listen to it. So these people are to be feared. These are not people you want to have any form of a relationship with, whether personal or professional. Again, many times they're very difficult to discover because they are such good actors. So let's talk about some identifying behaviors they'll usually exhibit so you can kind of know what to be watching out for. Number one, black and white thinking or all or nothing thinking. They are authoritative. They know everything and everyone else knows nothing, period. And it doesn't matter if their beliefs are logical or rational. Their way is the only way. Their way is the right way. So, living with a malignant narcissist certainly isn't a democracy. It's a very, very rigid dictatorship where they are the only leader. They are the only ones that matter. They know better than everybody else. Their perspective and opinion is the only one, or there's going to be hell to pay. I was raised by a malignant narcissist, and when I was very little, My father got this message across to me when I was very young. When I would speak up on anything, wouldn't matter how insignificant, and I can assure you it took all the courage I had in the world as a little girl to voice any type of opinion. But if I did that, he would look at me with the most perplexed and disgusted look on his face and say, Jill, why did you open your mouth? Nobody cares, nobody cares what you have to say. Your opinion doesn't count. Throw in some cursing and other choice language. But I think this is a good example of how they really view other people's opinion or perspective. Number 2, they believe they are superior to others and they expect to be treated like that. They almost feel like they are this godlike being. They enjoy seeing other people fawning over them and running around trying to anticipate their every need. This feeds that delusion that they are this godlike supreme being. When my dad was dating what would now become his third wife, she started referring to him as sir. He would tell her to do something and she would say, yes, sir, and go and do it. And I can remember thinking, this is not normal. First of all, he shouldn't want her to address him in this way. She shouldn't want to address him in this way. There's nothing normal about this. And they wouldn't just do it when they were at home. They would do it at work, in social settings, in public, yes, sir. And she'd run off and do whatever it was that he told her to do. And when she would say this, I could see him inhale the power he felt from seeing her do this. And, he had no shame or embarrassment. He didn't experience any of that, which, it horrified me. Neither one of them seemed to be embarrassed about this behavior at all. I now understand that she is what's called an inverted narcissist. So neither one of them experienced shame, but inverted narcissism is for another video. It's a completely other topic. But anyway, the point is they have this belief about themselves that they are deserving to be regarded as this superior godlike being. Number 3, they are exploitative. They view people not as human beings, but rather as an appliance or a car. People are there to fulfill their needs. They are used and exploited depending on the narc's needs at the time. They don't really form relationships or friendships with people. People are seen much more like an asset. People are only as valuable as what they can offer to them. When the person no longer has something valuable for the narcissist or, something that they want, they dump them. They discard them and move on to somebody else. So if someone has remained in their lives for a long period of time, then you can bet there's something valuable that person is providing to the narcissist, because they only surround themselves with people who are providing them something they want or something they need. Many times you'll witness a malignant narcissist coming in and out of their children's lives. When the child has something they want, something of value to the malignant narcissistic parent, boom, there they are. And they'll manipulate the child's desire for their love and attention to get what it is they want to suck off of that child. And then when the child can no longer provide that, boom, they're gone again. Number 4, they are pathological liars. They view the truth and honesty much like how they view people. It's completely dependent on how useful it is or not. So the truth, it will change as their desires and needs change. Genuine honesty and truthfulness has no merit or value. As their needs change, so will the truth. One day they will tell you one thing and be so adamant about that, and that'll be the truth. And then the next day, they will have a totally different version of the truth and be just as adamant about that. It's very, very bizarre to witness too, because if you are in the close circle with a malignant narcissist, whatever comes out of their mouth, they expect you to substantiate. So you just got to kind of wing it when you're with them. Number 5, they have no empathy. They are completely devoid of empathy. Now, again, you have to remember they are proficient actors. So they can behave as if they're the most empathetic human being on the planet. But, it's bullshit. It's not true. They do not have genuine empathy. And if you hang out with them long enough, something will happen where they should be showing genuine empathy and compassion for a situation, and there will be none. Number 6, they are incredibly vengeful and cruel. You've got to remember, they don't possess a conscience. So if they think that you've harmed them, whether real or perceived, the limits they will go to get back at you, is endless. How as bad as things can get, multiply that by 1,000,000. They are able to do things and will do things that a normal person wouldn't even know was an option. So you have to remember too, they have a sadistic side to their personality. So they enjoy harming other people, especially if they think that you've harmed them. This is a sport to them. People who severely alienate their children will always be a malignant narcissist. These people take the term evil to a level no one would ever want to live through. I promise you that. Number 7, they don't trust others, almost paranoid of others. One reason is because they know they can't be trusted. Another reason I think is because they think they are so special and unique that everybody's out to get them. Also, I think they're very skeptical and hesitant of other people that, are getting into their private circle until they see and believe this person isn't going to challenge their perception of themselves or challenge the reality they want everybody to believe. They're skeptical of people. You have to remember, they're delusional. They live in this delusional bubble of reality, so everybody around them has to support this delusion. Number 8, appearance is everything. They want to be viewed as the best. Whatever their profession is, they're the best. If they're a football player, by God, they're the best football player that ever lived. If they're a pilot, they're the most skilled pilot in the universe that ever lived. So you know what I'm saying. Whatever it is that they do or whatever skill they have, they want to be seen as the absolute best. If somebody else is out there that they believe is as good as them or better than them, they'll try and invalidate them, just ignore them completely. Next, they have anger and rage issues. They are extremely rigid in their beliefs. So remember, they don't bend or compromise with anyone. So if these perceptions are ever challenged or they suffer a narcissistic injury, you're going to get a narcissistic rage. They take narcissistic rage to a level that can be extremely frightening. Number 10, they are hypocrites. They project their sins onto other people. They will condemn someone for something while they're doing that same thing themselves. They hold everybody to one standard and themselves to absolutely no standards. They are not only pathological liars, but they're pathological hypocrites. And if they ever were to get caught in their deplorable behavior, you can bet they're either going to blame it on somebody else or come up with some absurd excuse that usually won't even make sense anyway. But they don't feel any humiliation or embarrassment or shame. It's important to understand that these people do not have the brain capacity to feel empathy, remorse, guilt. The amygdala in the frontal lobe of their brain doesn't operate like a normal person. So they know right from wrong. They know their behavior is wrong. They just don't have the capacity to care. That is why the term malignant narcissism and evil go hand in hand. They have the capacity to get extremely evil. So in closing, let me just say, if this sounds like anyone you are remotely close to or involved with, you're in danger. Malignant narcissists need to be taken extremely seriously. You need to take action in quiet steps. You don't ever want to alarm a malignant narcissist that you know what they are, but you want to take immediate steps to distance yourself and with the goal of going completely no contact. that these are not, any relationship with a malignant narcissist is going to end badly. They are inherently devious. There is no hope to help them. This is a permanent condition. There is no hope for them getting better. So it's, you need to worry about yourself, save your loved ones, and get away. If you are unable to go no contact with a malignant narcissist because, let's say, you're a co-parent with one, first of all, my heart breaks for you. My advice to go is low contact as humanly possible and to live by the gray rock method. You don't want to have anything that this person can become jealous or envious of. There isn't an easy answer for people who have to co-parent with a malignant narcissist. Believe me, I tried for 18 years. And this is such a huge topic. We'll go into co-parenting with narcissists in a later video because God knows that's a whole different complicated issue of its own. So anyway, okay, that's going to do it for this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences or comments below. If you liked this video, I'd appreciate it if you'd give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for videos in the future.